Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Oh my goodness, it's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is Naturally Inspired Radio, and let me tell you, I've missed you. Oh my gosh. I realized, we've been off because of New Year's and whatnot, and all this crap going down, every day. And I try not to look at it when I'm on, vacation, or I don't know. I never really get a vacation, but I'm not saying that in a bad way. I actually don't need a vacation from my life. I love my life. I love my farm. I don't really want to go anywhere right now. But anyway, so while I was not doing the show, I try to stay away from all the craziness, but it's pretty near impossible, especially if you're me. Because people love to text you stuff. Did you see the story? Did you see this? Did you see that? And of course, it's like, okay, you've got to respond. You've got to engage. So it's impossible to get away from what's going on. Although I didn't spend a lot of time on what was going on in the news and in the cycle. Had a wonderful New Year's with my family. Just had a moment, on New Year's Eve where I'm sitting at the table with my family, Jason and our two kids, and I'm looking at them just realizing, my gosh, these are adults. And I know, we know they're 20, 22, like they've been adults for a while, but like they're really starting to shape their lives now. And we were having like very adult conversations and banter and just like really enjoyed going out for dinner with them and to a comedy show. And I just felt so much gratitude, that these are my kids. And this is my husband, and this is where I'm at in the world. And so I hope you had a similar moment during your holidays, that you were able to just reflect that, even though the world is absolutely nuts, that you do have a few things around you, that are just, dare I say, just almost perfect, just almost perfect. Perfect for me, perfect for you, not perfect for maybe anybody else, but just the way you want them. And I just had several of those moments, I think, through the holiday season. So just have a very grateful heart for all of that, because I find myself just, just being so grateful for it. Anyway, not so grateful maybe for what's going on in the news. Let's get to it, because I tell you, they're trying to capture your consciousness, and they are trying to control what you think, why you think it, and where you spend all of your energy. Okay? And it just couldn't be any more clear that is what they're trying to do. I mean, I started thinking about this as I was preparing for the show today. I'm like, my gosh, so like just a week ago, I think it was, things happen so fast, but like just a week ago, we were like focused on Epstein. We were focused on Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. And we were focused on the fact that there's going to be this big announcement around healthcare insurance. I mean, this is a huge, excuse me, but like health insurance affects all of us, right? We're like, oh, do I need it? I don't want it. I don't want to pay it. It's a ripoff. This is a ripoff. Like, this is like a very real thing that impacts your life, right? Gone. The story's gone. Right? Charlie Kirk was assassinated online. Well, for everybody to see, whether you wanted to see it or not, we saw it. And this was like, a pretty stand-up citizen of our country. And he was just gone, taken out. Right? These are like, in a normal world, right? In a normal world, these things would be like, oh my gosh, we would be fixated on trying to bring answers to these things, right? Of course, fraud has been all over the news. And even that's now taking a back seat to Venezuela. I'm so tired, guys. Like, aren't you just tired? Like, what? Okay, so I don't even look at these stories anymore for like, okay, this is what's going on in the story. I look for like, okay, what's going on in the background that I'm not supposed to be looking at, right? Why this? Why this? Why now? What's happening, And then I start to think, oh, you're crazy. Like, just like you're crazy lady with your tinfoil hat, all that stuff, right? But then every once in a while, you get somebody else that like just seems to be tapping into exactly the way you're thinking about things. And I need, who knows Tim Dillon? Like, seriously, I need to have Tim Dillon as a friend, I think. Because he's like my spirit animal at this moment. Every time, I don't even mean to like, listen to his podcast or whatever, it comes up, I'm going for a run, I'm listening to it, I'm like, yes, somebody else is like understanding the same perception that I have. And so I think we all need to be friends with Tim Dillon. So whoever out there can hook that up, let's hook it up, because we need to feel a little less crazy. And I feel like Tim Dillon is the compass here, is one of the compasses here, because he's echoing exactly what I'm saying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I love me some Tim Dillon. Anyway, he talked about this, which I talked about last week. I talked more the week before, whatever it was, saying, listen, shiny thing over here, pay attention to this, but also this is going on. Listen, This is Tim Dillon.
It's a new day. It's a new year. What did I tell you? Project Sunrise. Isn't it nice? And the people from Gaza, now this will probably take, this is going to happen in phases. It's going to be a decades-long thing. But, eventually the kids from Gaza are going to be so impressed by this city that it's going to be an international destination. An international destination. The 10-year development plan, which is pretty ambitious when you look at what they want to do, but you know what? They've cleared a lot. They've already done the clearing. A big part of construction is doing the clearing. They've done it. 10-year development plan drafted by Jared Kushner, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who was a real estate guy before he got into this, and the two top White House aides, is currently courting investor countries with a 32-slide PowerPoint presentation detailing the bold plan to renovate burning rubble into beach resorts. I mean, can you imagine they go and they do the plan? They go, thank you, everyone, for coming to the investor presentation. Thank you. We really appreciate you guys coming. We have an opportunity for you. Opportunity.
So listen, this is the way we all need to kind of train our brains to look at scenarios that are going on in the world. Okay, I've said this so many times, right? Like, America's a business. And so when you get your business glasses on and you start looking through your business glasses to see what might be going on here in this shiny catastrophe news story, whatever it is that's going on, then it starts to make a whole lot more sense, So maybe somebody's asking themselves, like, why is Netanyahu visiting Trump so much? And, why is Trump, cozying up to people like, Mark Levin and these other people? Like, what? It feels like Americans have had enough of the endless funding of Israel. You don't even have to have an opinion on that, right? Like, you can just say, based on the rhetoric that we hear in the space, the town square of social media and whatnot, clearly there's a lot of people that are sick of America just shelling out money to Israel. Okay? That's just where we're at right now. Yet, Trump has no qualms about cozying up to Netanyahu right now, cozying up to Mark Levin, and, they're buddy, and, a lot of his base is pissed off about that. And yet he just, keeps nurturing this relationship. And then, you got this thing over here with Jared Kushner, right? You get what I'm getting at here? Like, the relationship needs to be good in order for this thing to fly, wouldn't you think? And so nobody wants to put that in jeopardy because, the Gaza Strip is going to be a super smart city for the elite where, you can travel. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing, right? So you got to wonder, I know Trump's your guy and Trump this and Trump that. And listen, I'm glad he was elected, but we have to look at things truthfully here. And everybody who is in charge at any level of politics, they seem to be making a lot more money than, say, their $170K a year. And so you got to look at that, including the president, right? He doesn't even take a salary. But if you're a business guy, just think of that. You're a business guy and you're all about business and negotiations and whatnot. You're not even taking a salary. You know why you're not taking a salary? Because he loves you. He loves America. Of course, he probably, he does love America. But also, this is very beneficial to the Trump organization. And I'm not saying that with any hate. Okay. This is the paradigm we function in our country. It is all about business, people. It is a corporation, right? So you've got to look at it through that. These people are navigating through the tentacles of business at every single turn. And when you start looking at things like that, you understand why things don't get done overnight. You understand why deals have been made the way they have. It's just the way it is. It's been building this way for a long time. Welcome back to your new year. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. See you in a minute.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Listen, get them before they're gone. Buy one, get one is still on. Not everything. Collagen is no longer on. Buy one, get one. Dang it. Hopefully it comes back because I love that bargain. And you know me, I absolutely love a bargain. I love a bargain. So take advantage of the rest though, because there's still a few here. We've got good gut health. So we got buy one, get one of this probiotic support. We have Supercell Health is an antioxidant in a capsule. Two for the price of one, so only $25.99. Like there are so many great deals here. So still 25 products available left, 2 for 1. Take advantage at the naturalinspiredstore.com. Don't forget that as soon as you become a customer of Naturally Inspired, you get into the Naturally Inspired community. And with the community, you get access to my health text line. That means you and me, we work together to, work towards optimum health and get you the results that you want. Not only that, you get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. That's something to plug into every Tuesday night, holding you accountable. And let me tell you, in the new year, those workshops are going to be expanding. What I've noticed, I've been noticing this for a long time, what I have noticed is that it's not so much the education that everybody needs, but the how, why, I know what to do. Why am I not doing it? Can you relate to that? It's like, I know what to do to be healthy, but I just can't get going. And especially after COVID, I feel like I just can't get inspired to go do. I know why. And I've got some solutions for you. So if that sounds like something you need help with, get into the Naturally Inspired community. If you have any questions about it, just text me 720-303-8868. Otherwise, get started right now. Go to naturalinspiredstore.com. When you make a purchase, you get a welcome text from me with all of the information that you need, and we're off to the races together on your optimum health journey. All right, let's get back to this culture control, because what are they shoving down our throats now, right? Venezuela. Why now? Right? Well, I think this story is still unpacking, and I don't know that I have anything, really great to add to it at this point, except for I just, when I think about it, I get I take in information and I see the patterns of the news cycle. And the only thing I think of when I think of Venezuela is energy. Energy, energy, energy. I also think this issue has something to do with BRICS. You know, the fact that China and India, remember that story way back when people were going off of the petrodollar to trade oil and whatnot, right? We'd all agreed we were going to, trade oil and sell oil and pay for oil in US dollars because it's the petrodollar. And so some people coming off of that, right, during Biden's administration. And also silver was going up like crazy, which is a huge mineral that, is big for conductivity, so it's huge in the tech sphere. The demand for it is huge in the tech sphere. So these little pieces of the puzzle I'm still kind of putting together. I don't know what the full picture is here, but I definitely see energy. Right? We need energy because I'm telling you, we need water, we need energy to fuel the digital revolution. And so absolutely makes sense to me that this would be the time to move in and take over, essentially install a new regime in Venezuela so that we can get back into the oil there. I know Exxon, was kind of booted out of there, and it's time that they get back in. Right. And we get access to more oil. We get more control over the marketplace with our dollar dropping so low. So that's kind of my view on it right now. I am forever anti-war. I am forever anti-war. And if you have a kid in this country, you probably are too. Right. Because it's not their kids they're going to be sending to any war. It's our kids. And so I'm always anti-war. Always. Always. In this day and age, there's so many different ways to settle conflict. So I'm just praying for no war. I'm praying for no war. I'm praying for no battlefield ever. And, all moms are praying for that. As soon as we get the whiff of war and, you have a kid of fighting age, you immediately start praying for no war. So no war. That's, he promised no wars, no new wars. And I expect no new wars. I expect that. So that's the thing in the main, taking up all the space on the social medias. All the space is all about Venezuela. I have a question for you. So, did we see anybody get arrested? Did you guys? Did you see Somalians getting perp walked? Did you see them? Did I miss that? Okay, this is where, it gets really, so I mean, I understand, I'm always questioning, what's really going on here? Why now this big, listen, we have fraud in California, outrageous fraud in California. That's outrageous. Rail speed rails that are supposed to be built, billions of dollars, just not accounted for, and there's people covering this stuff and has been, citizen journalists covering stuff like this. And, they get a little bit of traction and then it kind of goes away, And so I have to question, why this, why now? Right? I mean, this fraud has been going on. Some of these Somali daycares have been in business a decade. This is not new. Okay. So why this, why now? And, I was talking to Jason, because I was so irritated by all this, right? We have these Somali videos brewing around where these Somalis are basically, yeah, sucker, I take your money from you, go to work, American, that kind of that's just stirring the pot, right? Those videos are getting pumped out, just stirring the pot, right? And, the thing is, it's if you did that, right? If you were running a daycare and you didn't actually have any kids there, and you were just taking money and it was all a big scam, would you have been taken in for questioning by now? Pretty sure you would have. I know I would have, right? But I would have had a sheriff at my door. knock, knock, right? You need to come down to the station and answer a few questions here. I have not seen a single one of those, and there's no reports on it. Has anybody been taken in? Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody at all? Anybody? Because I am certain if it was you or if it was me, we would have been in the police station by now. Right? So now I'm like, okay, so what's this all about really? Right? What's this all about really? Oh, we're going to have a strongly worded post about this. A lot of strongly worded posts, a lot of get those guys and something better happen. Oh, yeah, does it? What do we got? We're getting an oversight committee. I don't know about you, but I never seen anybody hauled away in handcuffs from an oversight committee. Have you? Because I haven't, especially lately. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know entirely what this is all about, but let me tell you this. So, like, if you're a Somali person listening to this, I just want you to know they don't like you either. Like, you guys may think that you're here and you're taking advantage of everything and this is going great and you're working for the Democratic Party or whatever you're doing. You may think, this is fantastic. It's only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time because, you see, this thing is being used to create chaos. And boy, is it working. Right? I'm seeing people walking down in the street, yelling at Somali people. They're showing up at their daycares now and their home care places, and they're angry. And people are saying, we're going to boycott taxes and, deport them all and all this stuff, right? So that's not going to go very well. There's going to be fighting. There's infighting, more division, right? More division. And, listen, I want these people out of our country as well. I want them out. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? This is absolutely ridiculous. If you're not going to work, if you're not going to better the country, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Right? So I'm on that side, but also I just want people to understand, this can go a certain way for the benefit of globalist agenda. And the Democrats don't care about these people. They're just a means to an end. You're just being used. You're being used. And when they can no longer use you, you're going to be thrown away like trash. And so, I don't know, that saga continues with Somali fraud. But I did find this pretty interesting here. I want to go to this clip before we go to break real fast. This is Nick Shirley on the PBD podcast. Check this out.
For the day before he got shot.
Stop it.
Yeah. He invited me on his show. I was actually the last guest to ever go on Charlie Kirk's show before he got shot.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You were the last guest to go on Charlie's show before he got shot and killed?
Yeah. It was an hour before he got shot.
Rob, did you know this?
No idea.
I did not know this.
And so I wasn't personal friends with Charlie, but that's why it hit me so hard. Him dying. One, he texted me the night before, and then I was literally the last guest to go on his show.
Wow. And what was the conversation about the last day you were on with Charlie?
Well, he just invited me on his show, and then because he was going to do the debate, it was his co-host Andrew who's hosting the show. Yeah,
that's right.
I'm from Utah too, and what's strange about me is I was supposed to be at that event, and I was going to go do a live stream, and I was even going to reach out to Turning Point to be a part of it because I'm well known in Utah, and for some reason I decided to go back to New York, or else I would have been, who knows how close I would have been up on that stage, or if I was just in the crowd, but I would have been live streaming it.
You would have been live streaming it if you were there. Wow. Who was Charlie to you?
Yeah, I think he's just somebody that, similar to somebody like you. They have your back because you're also doing the same thing. So you have that mutual respect for him. And yeah, you might not have agreed with everything Charlie said, but if you think about what he did as far as the movement he created with Turning Point, I don't know if you were at AmFest last week, but it's amazing.
Not last week, last year.
It's amazing to see that even one person can gather 30,000 people for a convention in one weekend, right? And I think he's just more so just like somebody who's in the fight with you. speaking truth for what they believe.
Listen, I don't want to assert anything here. I'm not dropping, I'm not coming to conclusions or anything like that. But let me tell you, seems like to me, Turning Point had their eyes on Nick Shirley. What does that mean? I don't know, but I'll try to explain what I mean when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I am so glad you were here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
So heading into the new year, we all do it, right? I'm going to change. I'm going to take my health more seriously. I'm here to tell you, yes. I'm inviting you to the Naturally Inspired community. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about is lack of energy, right? These days, it's like, oh, I feel so tired. It's constant fatigue. I can't seem to get my energy up. So I want to invite you to pick your protocol. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, hit the button, pick your protocol. I have one on there that's specifically for energy. Okay. It's got the Omega Guard in it. It's got the methylated Vitalia, which is methylated B vitamins and all your multi needs there. And also my one of my most favorite products, got some right here with me this morning, is the Vivix, right? The cellular reset that restores mitochondrial function at a cellular level. Eats up inflammation like little Pac-Man. Polyphenols, they work like little Pac-Man. So this is a great way to start. I want you to know that all the protocols I've put together have free shipping, okay? And that will get you into the Naturally Inspired community too, because any purchase over $50 gets you right into the Naturally Inspired community, and we can begin working together and tailoring your program for optimum health. So pick your protocol. Don't wait anymore. It's 2026. You've had enough. You've all told me I've had enough. I don't trust them. I know what they're doing. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to, I don't want to take these pills. I don't want to do this. I hear you. Let's go. Let's go. You can pick your protocol at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Then you'll hear from me. I'll send you a welcome text, and together we'll start on your optimum health journey. I know you're going to do it. I know you can do it. And 2026 is the year. I can feel it. 2026 is going to be a great year for all of us. Okay, so what am I implying? What am I implying by talking about Nick Shirley? First of all, what a great kid, right? Like, he's doing such cool stuff. He's out there filming and, trying to bring stories to the public. And from what I understand, he was doing that kind of in high school, and it wasn't going so great for him. Like, he couldn't get more views and stuff like that on YouTube. And then he took a little hiatus and he did some mission work with LDS for like 24 months or something like that. And then he came back to YouTube, and his YouTube has really blown up. And it's interesting. It's interesting, right? Because I think Turning Point had a lot of maybe ties to LDS. And so, the networking there is of interest. It's of interest, I think. And, just explains as to why, somebody might be featured in something as big as this Somali fraud story. So we'll see. We'll see how this shakes out, I wonder if Nick Shirley will become part of Turning Point in some fashion and what that will look like moving forward. So anyway, I just don't think there's any coincidences, and I find it interesting. I just find it interesting. So let's keep our eyes on that. But you know what I'm saying? We haven't even, we didn't even get over the Somali thing, and then we're already into the Venezuelan thing. And it's just constant, right? The other things I want you to, because I just made a list of a bunch of things that we're not watching right now because of these bigger things that are sucking all the oxygen out of the room here. So the Candace Owens thing, she's back today, so maybe we'll get some more information on that. I haven't heard anything about the Epstein case recently. Epstein didn't kill himself. Healthcare insurance is going to be a huge topic, and let me tell you, that is not a nothing burger. Okay, people may think, oh well, it's health insurance. Listen. Did you know that there was a CEO of a healthcare company that was assassinated in the middle of the street? This is not a nothing burger, okay? This is one of your gangsta operations. So there's going to be some announcements around that and some negotiations around that. Not heard anything lately, because all the attention is going elsewhere. I talked about the California fraud that we haven't heard about. That's not isolated to any just, Minnesota. It's everywhere, okay? NGOs sucking money out of your tax dollars, sucking up your tax dollars everywhere, every state, okay? There's fraud everywhere. We have got a bit of a religious war brewing, right? We're seeing this, the uptick in Muslim displays of prayer and whatnot in our streets, in our in our cities and whatnot, and just unacceptable behavior. Unacceptable behavior that is not part of American culture at all. So that's going on. And then, this little sunshine project that Tim Dillon was talking about with Jared Kushner. Also, there's data centers popping up everywhere, which we should be really concerned about, which I'm going to cover a story on that later in the show. But also vaccine injury. Ooh, that really has been shelved, hasn't it? And a lot of people out there suffering terribly with vaccine injury. Here's a little reminder of that. Watch this video.
You've had trouble with your eyes as well. I've met people whose eyes have been never the same since they took these injections. Is this something you're hearing from other people?
Yes, so after in the last couple of years, I was noticing in my reading that one of my eyes was losing its sight. And so I went and saw a specialist ophthalmologist. I've been to the Sydney Eye Hospital and a behavioural optometrist. And it's really common, they are seeing after the vaccine, that this vaccine, what it's doing, it's making small blood clots, sticky blood going to the backs of our eyes, and because they're the smallest blood vessels in our bodies. And so what it's doing is it's cutting off the blood supply to the eyes, and it's causing some form of blindness. Some of it is permanent and some of it you can get back. But I want you to be fully aware, if you have any change in your sight, you need to go and get it checked.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so as I was doing interviews during COVID, post-COVID, I interviewed hundreds of doctors about the vaccines and what was going on with COVID and all that stuff. And I'll tell you, this is not medical advice, but I'll tell you, if you've been vaccinated multiple times, especially, and you're having any issues at all, even if it were me, even if I wasn't having issues, I'd be getting a D-dimer test. And a D-dimer checks for these little microclots that you have that this injection is responsible for producing. And so if you have any problems, and I can't tell you how many people now have lost track of eye problems. I've completely lost track of how many cases of eye problems that I have heard of and spoke to and understand how this works as a result of these COVID injections. Eye problems is huge. It's huge. So so that's your body's way of communicating, right? So when I always talk about, listen, like any kind of symptom is not a symptom, it's a signal. It's a communication. So do not ignore it. Do not ignore it. Okay. And if your doctor has any, hopefully has some understanding of what's going on with the injections, that they will give you a D-dimer test and make sure that you're in the all clear. But these are the types of things that we're not hearing about. And listen, all the attention goes on something for a reason. It doesn't mean it isn't important. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't care about it. It doesn't mean, that we shouldn't look for solutions for it, right? But understand that there's a bigger picture going on. There's a bigger picture. Like, this is literally the corporate games. It is the corporations at play. Everything's a negotiation. Everything. Your country is a corporation, and negotiations are going down on the daily. Something Trump said once that stuck with me. He said, next week, I don't even think about tomorrow till, what's going to happen tomorrow until tomorrow arrives. I don't care about next week, and that's why we see things constantly evolving. It's just like, being at a closing table for a house or whatever. Anything can happen at the last minute. And that's what negotiations are. And so, he's due to meet with these healthcare companies. Trump's due to meet with these healthcare insurance companies. He's always, trying to keep the lines of negotiations open. So he never says, he'll say something like, these insurance companies are making far too much money and I want to give the money back to the American people. He says that in the public. That is a signal. That is a signal to them, so they understand where this meeting is going, okay? And then the negotiations will take place, and they'll be bargaining back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until they come to some kind of agreement, which most of us probably won't be happy with. We won't be, because we're looking at the bottom line here. We're looking at the fact that, people are paying thousands of dollars for coverage that doesn't even cover them, because they have deductibles that are so high, they never reach the deductible. So everything's coming out of pocket for medical expenses. And on top of that, they have to pay their premiums still every month. They get nothing. People get nothing for healthcare. So, is his negotiations going to fix everything? I highly doubt it. You know what would fix everything? I got a few ideas about that. Maybe what's going around online should take root at a wider spectrum, which is, I'm seeing a whole lot of videos of people saying, yeah, I dropped my health insurance. I'm not playing in that racket anymore. Wouldn't that be something? Sure would. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Do you know what to do? You're just not sure why you're not doing it? I think I can help. If you want results that last, if 2026 is your year to get healthy, then I'm your gal. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Book a free assessment with me. We'll sit down. We'll talk about your concerns. We'll talk a little bit about your history, what's gone on, what's worked, what hasn't worked. We'll get a feel for where you're at. And then we'll come up with a plan together, a plan to build a lifestyle that you love, because you have to love it. Okay? It's so important that you build this lifestyle to health, because if you don't love it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And I don't blame you, because who wants to live a life that they don't like? Right? So it's very important that we together, I can help guide, but you are capable of building the lifestyle that gets you the results that you want. I promise. Once you understand, communication from your body and how to respond to it, you start getting results, you start feeling better. This isn't going to be about willpower at all. This is going to be just about consistent action over time that brings you the results that you want. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today, pick a protocol, get started. You'll hear from me via my health text line, and I can't wait to meet you on the weekly wellness workshop or in the assessment that you book where we sit down together. All right, let's get to our naturally inspired moment for today. This is such a good one. So I went on, a few long runs, and I had an opportunity to kind of dive in and look at some topics. And I'm super interested in communication. I tell you that all the time. I study like vocabulary and language, and why do people say things the way they do? And, how can we get better outcomes? Because I really think that a lot of the time when we have problems in life with our relationships or with the outcomes that we want to get, it's because it's a miscommunication. It's really miscommunication. So, and, this topic is so valuable. So I stumbled upon this YouTube video that's like 10 years old or something from a gal by the name of Louise Evans. And she talked about some behaviors that we use that we're not even aware of, okay? And these behaviors shape our outcomes. And I just love the way she described this. So I'm going to bring it to you today with my own take on it as well, because there were some things I even stopped. I stopped my run and I'm like, I got to write that down, which I often do. But this one was a really good one. So 5 behaviors that we all use, okay, that we might not even be aware of, but they drastically shape our outcomes in our life. So the way she describes it is there's kind of 5 different behaviors and attitudes we bring into the world that shape everything for us. And the number one, she actually did a demonstration in this video where she set out 5 chairs, okay? And each chair represented a different behavior. And so the first chair was the jackal. And the jackal is a lot what you think, right? When you think of a jackal, you're like, it's kind of deceptive. Maybe it's sneaky, right? Well, the jackal is when we present with a behavior that's very judgy. Okay. We're judging. So we're looking for what is wrong in every scenario. So, picture yourself having in a scenario, right? With whether you're, out with family or at a gathering or whatever. Are you in the jackal chair where you're judging? Okay. Because you have to ask yourself this question when you're judging. Do you want a relationship with this person or in this, organization? Or do you want to be right? So do you want to get what you want out of this relationship and outcome? Or do you want to be right? Because if you want to be right, you might not be able to have a relationship with that person. So you've got to decide what's more important to you. When we judge, we're thinking all the things, right? Why are they doing it this way? That's not right. This, and we're doing that because we feel like we have the right to impart our view on people and on others. And the problem with that is it's just very damaging to our relationships. And why? What are we getting out of it? What are we getting out? Well, I feel really right. Well, good for you, because nobody likes you now. You know what I mean? Like, so you've got to, and if that's the outcome, you're listen, if you're fine with that outcome, then go do it. I mean, sometimes, there just ain't no change in people, and you've had enough is enough. Okay. So I'm not saying that there isn't a place for this, but the idea is be aware of what behavior you're bringing into this situation. If you're bringing the jackal in, then don't expect for it to end well. Okay? So a little self-check before you interact with people, or as you're interacting with people, like, wait a minute, what chair am I in here? What behavior am I bringing to this scenario? Number 2, and by the way, the jackal was the red chair. The next chair is called the yellow chair, and that's the hedgehog. So what behavior are you bringing in with a hedgehog? This is Mr. or Mrs. Self-doubt. Do you know him? Do you know her? We all suffer from this. Okay. We all suffer from self-doubt. This is when we're sitting in the chair and we're very vulnerable, right? We look at the world as it's an evil world. Everybody's out to get me. We judge ourselves. I don't have what it takes. I'm not good enough. We play the victim. Like, I can't do it because of this, right? Excuses. So we have a choice to make when we're sitting in that chair. When we're sitting in the hedgehog chair, we have a choice to make. Are you going to give up? Or are you going to find a way to navigate it and push through anyway? This is a big one, right? Because a lot of things happen with self-doubt. You not only have self-doubt in your mind, but you have self-doubt in your nervous system. So you're having a very physical, visceral reaction a lot of times when you're in the hedgehog chair. So how do you manage that, right? This is where we develop a skill set to manage this. We have to manage self-doubt, right? We have to counter that negative self-talk with better talk, okay? But also we have to manage our biology and make sure that we are, supplementing to support our nervous system, but also living a lifestyle that supports our nervous system, right? Where we take time out from inputs, right? Stop the inputs like the scroll hole and all of the information that we're taking in all the time, because that overloads and leads to more self-doubt and manifests in your nervous system, so that it makes it harder when you have negative thoughts to control your nervous system, to master your nervous system. So that's the hedgehog. The next chair is the meerkat. And the meerkat, that's when we're in vigilant behavior. So this is the wait chair, she called it, the wait chair, the WAIT. We wait and we listen. Okay. So this is curious. This is where we're curious. Oh, why do I feel this way? Oh, that really made me mad. Before you react, right? You go, oh, that's really making me mad. Why is that making me mad? I wonder why. I wonder why this person seems angry with me. I wonder why. This is curious. This is a good example because, meerkats, they kind of pop their head up and they observe all around them. That's what they're known for. And this is where we are in vigilant status. So being vigilant means you're collecting data. You're collecting data in the situation so that you can respond and understand, listen, we have no idea what this person may be going through at this given time. Even people we think we know, they're grappling with stuff. Everybody's grappling with something. And so when we ask questions, we can bring in the empathy part of ourselves. We can be a little bit more empathetic, and we can seek to understand. And guess what that does? That cools down anger, that cools down irritation. And it's just a matter of taking time and building that behavior to be vigilant first. Number 4, the fourth chair is the dolphin. And she described this as the best place for us to be, because the dolphin is where we grow. This is where we feel free. This is where we feel playful. We're assertive, but not aggressive. We're self-aware of everything around us. And we know we know where we are, and we know where we're going. So being in the dolphin behavior mode is where we want to stay, right? We want to be there most of the time. Now, we're humans. We're going to bounce in all 5 of these chairs all the time. The key is awareness. It's not perfection. It's just understanding, oh my gosh, I'm ruining this interaction, or I'm ruining this situation because I'm in the jackal chair. I'm judging. Right? Oh my gosh, I'm ruining this moment, this opportunity, because I'm in the hedgehog chair. I'm self-doubting like crazy. So when you have awareness, then it all makes more sense, and you can be a little bit more forgiving with yourself as well, because know that we all do these things from time to time. It's about spending less time in the jackal chair and maybe more time in the dolphin chair. And the 5th one is the giraffe chair. And did you know that the giraffe is the animal with the biggest heart, biggest land animal with the biggest the land animal with the biggest heart is what I want to say. And so that represents empathy and compassion. And so are we practicing empathy and compassion? Because when we come at it with empathy and compassion, again, that can really extinguish a lot of frustration. It can extinguish anger. And it's also the biggest gift that you can give to someone else, is extending the gift of empathy and understanding. In this TED Talk, she used an anecdotal story to kind of describe how these 5 chairs play out for her. And the example that she used is that she had had a new partner, and she wanted to build a new boyfriend, and she wanted to build a relationship with his daughter, who was grown. She was 20. And so it was very important to her to build this relationship. So she bought tickets to a very fancy jazz club with a band that she loved, and she took the daughter there, and everything was going great. And then as they're watching the band in this very, pricey jazz club or what have you, she looks over to the daughter, and the daughter's on the iPhone, and she immediately goes into jackal. She's pissed, right? I spent all this money, I spent all this time, like she's on her iPhone, right? But she had choices because she understood the jackal, the hedgehog, the meerkat, the dolphin, and the giraffe. She knew she had choices. So how was she going to approach this? She wanted to go jackal right away, but she chose meerkat, and she was more vigilant. She asked questions. She learned, what's going on? Like, how's it going? Are you enjoying this? Come to find out, the daughter was on her iPhone posting about what a fantastic time she was having with her at this club, this fancy place, and just absolutely loving it. So you can see how easily things can go wrong unnecessarily. So bring awareness to your 5 behaviors that you use without even knowing it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. We are heading into hour 2 of Naturally Inspired this morning. It's going by totally fast. As usual, my time with you goes by so fast. But if you did miss the first hour, you got to go back and listen to it, because we're talking about, how they're controlling culture, why certain stories are sucking up all the air in the room, and why other ones we've not heard so much about, but that are very, very important. So, it's just important. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean that it isn't that the stories aren't important, that they aren't real, or I'm not suggesting any of that. What I am suggesting is it's kind of orchestrated. The timing of when things come out, when they get held back, it's orchestrated. Listen, if you and I were running these Somali daycares, we'd be in jail right now. I can guarantee that. We'd at least been taken in for questioning, read our rights. There would have been a perp walk of some sort, I'm sure. Like, there ain't no perp walks, you guys. There's no handcuffs. Nobody's going to jail. Okay? And we've all had it, clearly. We've all had it. But I don't foresee anything happening unless, the people wake up and really call it out for what it is, right? I see some murmurings about some tax strikes and stuff, and that's interesting. That's interesting because that's a language they understand, right? Money. I think it might be the only language they understand. Anyway, I want to get to the American moment about American culture today because lots of people out there want you to think that you don't even have a culture, right? And as I dive into these topics for this segment, I get more and more excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's so cool. So American culture, today I want to talk about small business. Oh my gosh, Well, I've got so many thoughts about this. Let's go to the clip first. I want you to hear this little resource I pulled for you about the history of small business in America, and then we'll move on from there. Check it out.
First, we're talking about the influence of business on nearly every aspect of American life. In the 1930s, a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian described the United States as a business civilization, a situation he thought was unique in history, where business affected the economic, religious, political, and intellectual life of a country. What are some of the distinguishing characteristics of the history of American business? I thought for this podcast I'd list 10, moving in rough chronological order. 1. The founding of the North American European colonies was conducted by businesses, joint stock companies, like the Virginia Company established in 1606 with the goal of creating trading settlements in North America, and the Massachusetts Bay Company chartered in 1629. Capitalism came in the first ships, said the historian Carl Degler. 2. The U.S. government, both state and federal, played an important role in setting terms for an early developing economy. The Constitution, for instance, which came into effect in 1789, created a sizable domestic marketplace by ending tariffs between states. State governments, too, often working through public and private corporations, sponsored internal improvements like canals and roads. 3. Early companies in the United States flourished by harvesting nature in the soil, waters, and forests, by, for instance, the growth and sale of tobacco, the hunting of whales for their oil that then went on to light the streets of Boston and London, and the trap.
Okay, so, first of all, you'd sleep through that podcast, wouldn't you? But sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but that's a real snoozer. But there was some good points in there that I found really interesting because, this is like we experience this today. The fact that, America was known for its public-private partnerships, right? Building infrastructure and whatnot. Yeah, that's great. But what a mess we've created with that, because now we essentially have fascism in a lot of cases. Right? Where it's like the government, like during COVID, when the government was getting involved with social media platforms. Oh, they're a private company. They can do whatever they want. They're a private company. But also give us this back door and we'll go in and we will censor private American citizens. No, that's not okay. Right? Are you a public company? Are you a private company? What's going on here? Right? And so many other things. Also in the pharmaceutical model. Right? The government is funding a lot of this research, right? And that's our money. That's our money. That's our taxpayer money. That's funding researchers. And then our researchers are collecting gains from it, collecting dividends from it. That's, they're getting paid for more than a lifetime on some of their discoveries when taxpayers funded it. Like we've crossed the lines in this private-public partnership, and much of it is concealed. And that's a real problem too, because most people, the average person has no idea what's going on in those relationships, right? This public-private partnership that, they're using our money and then, it's not ethical. And the other thing I thought was funny is well, not funny, haha, but you know what I mean? It's interesting when they describe the history of America as a business civilization. Yeah, this is what I've been saying. So the problem is, the conflict is that many of us brought up through the institution of school and whatnot, and just social cues, we have a heart attached to our country. We have patriotism. We think of our troops. We think of our beautiful landscape, and this is our home. And there's a lot of emotion around our country. And so when we pick leaders, we tend to want heroes, right? I was on a different podcast yesterday, and we were talking about that, how I believe that America has a hero addiction. Like, we need a hero, and that hero has to have a story of kind of being the underdog. It's got to be, this person that we can hold up on this pedestal that just is such a hero. And that's a problem. The reason why it's a problem is because heroes are people too. And when we put a hero up on a pedestal to fix all our problems, to, we're giving our agency away again. This person's going to fix it. This person's more qualified to fix the problems than I am. And the truth is, they're not. They're not. You are most qualified to fix your problems. You are most qualified to shape American culture. You're an American. If you don't do it, who else is going to do it? Right? So that's the problem that we have in America with kind of our hero addiction. We are addicted to building up these heroes. And then, my goodness, when we find out they aren't perfect, well, then we tear them down. Oh, they did this wrong. They did that wrong. And, oh, did you know this or that? Like, listen, if we just started off from the point of truth in the first place and said, this person's a hero because they did this, this, and this, and this is also part of their character, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we see them as a hero and they did these courageous things, because it doesn't, right? Like, we've got to stop thinking this all or nothing type of thinking when it comes to these leaders, when it comes to people that we put up on pedestals as heroes, because heroes are just people. And they screw up and they make a lot of the same mistakes, I'm betting you, that you and I have made. In fact, I know that they have. Okay? Those just don't necessarily come into the limelight for everybody to see right away. But they eventually do. And then they're used to pull a hero down. Right? So, like, I don't know. If I was a politician, I'd be out there airing all my dirty laundry from the very first day. I actually think Bobby Kennedy did a lot of that. I think he did a lot of that. He was like, okay, listen, I did heroin. I was a terrible person. I did this. I did that. I've got so many skeletons in my closet. I'm telling you right now, like, this was my life. But also, like, I've been fighting for kids for 19 years. And I did, fight for the health of your environment and so many other things. And I just think that that's the way we ought to be looking at people. We ought to be looking at both sides of them instead of putting them up on this pedestal. Because it leads us into this kind of nastiness of putting all our agency into a hero, a political leader, and they're not the ones that are capable of making the change. Clearly, us together make the change. And so a business of civilization, well, holy moly, right? Corporations have swallowed up our culture in a lot of ways. They pay to influence how we think about things, to, what we see. It shapes, it shapes style. It shapes health in the way, like, if it weren't for these corporations, do you think people would be injecting their faces? No. Right? Corporations push these products because they want to sell them. They push them as safe and effective and all this other, no side effects whatsoever. Of course not. No side effects, right? That's debatable. There has been people that have had side effects, right? So, but if we look at our country for what it is, and we kind of compartmentalize the fact that, yes, this is a business and America does business first, right now, that's the paradigm we've created. Business is the priority. A lot of people say, well, it has to be because, we're in a race with China. And if we don't, if we don't stay powerful, then they will. Okay, well, also you got to accept the consequences of that. If you're going to put business first, then you have to accept the consequences of that, which means that your healthcare system might suck and that nobody really gives a crap about your health. They're more concerned about money. That's a consequence of living in a business civilization. All we can do in that scenario is be a well-informed consumer, be a well-informed citizenry, so that we can have a part in shaping the marketplace and what businesses succeed and what businesses fail. Right? So here's a few other things about historically about small business. I was always just so shocked to learn that small business actually drives employment in the country. Small businesses are the biggest employer in the country. It used to be that way before COVID. We'll talk about it more when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
On Naturally Inspired Radio, we've talked a ton about insulin resistance, blood sugar issues, metabolic health, right? How your body is putting energy to use at a metabolic level. We talk a lot about that because that's the root cause of disease. That is it, everybody. So a healthy metabolism, and metabolism doesn't mean weight necessarily, okay? It's how well you're functioning at a cellular level. And so if this is an issue, if you think, I really want to support my metabolic health, then I have a protocol for you. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, click on the pick protocol. One of my favorite is Insulin Fit. This is a wonderful magnesium, metabolic boost, a methylated multivitamin and glucose regulation complex that you put all those together and you've got yourself some really great support for metabolic health. When you pick a protocol, you get free shipping with it. Okay. And don't forget, you get into the Naturally Inspired community as well. So you'll get my coaching for free. You will get our Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops and so much more, because Naturally Inspired is expanding more things in this wonderful new 2026 year that I'm feeling very inspired already. So head on over there today, pick your protocol, naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions at all about any of the protocols, or the buy one, get one frees. Take advantage of those buy one, get one frees as well. Stock up your arsenal of for wellness. Everybody needs things like minerals in their cabinet, aloe in their cabinet, ashwagandha in the uplift. Wonderful thing to have on hand and in your arsenal for wellness. So pick up, those buy one, get one frees. If you have any questions at all, just text me, 720-303-8868. A couple last things about your American culture, right? When it comes to small business, doesn't it feel like to you now that they don't nurture small business anymore, but they actually try to kill it. You know, during COVID, we saw that where the, Walmarts are all open, but the mom and pops are all closed, right? Like this is so un-American. Like at the beginning, on the onset of America, it was all about small business and how to support small business. So small business is America's original economic model. From colonial times through the 1800s, America was built on independent tradespeople, people like farmers, blacksmiths, merchants, printers, shopkeepers. There were no massive corporations at the start. Self-employment was the norm, not the exception. The frontier rewarded problem solvers, not institutions. As settlers moved west, survival depended on local businesses that adapted fast. People like millers, general stores, wagon makers, healers, ranchers. Government and big institutions were distant, almost non-existent. Small business built community before government programs existed. Before social safety nets, local businesses were social anchors. Credit at the general store, apprenticeships for the young people, support for families during hard times. And this legacy lives on in Americans trusting local people more than centralized systems. You do. The Industrial Revolution didn't erase small business, but it challenged it. Large factories emerged in the late 1800s, but small businesses adapted by specializing. So we got bakeries, tailors, repair shops, family farms. Like small business has always been adapting, and I think it's the American way. And so I have hope that with artificial intelligence coming in and the digital revolution, that we will yet again grab onto our American spirit and adapt and start businesses that connect us more. I think that's the future. People are going to be, I think people are already starving for real, authentic connection, tired of fakeness, tired of just buying something randomly where it doesn't mean anything, to who you're buying it from. And I think people are yearning for that. So there's going to be opportunity in starting business in this revolution of the digital world, even though we all hate it. And I know I'm with you. I can't stand it. I don't want it to happen. I don't. But it's happening. It's happening, and it's tough. It's a tough thing. But again, I'll say it's about carving out our own experience through this lifetime of ours, right? We got to take personal responsibility and carve the experience we want, right? Instead of just letting it happen to us. So small business is the backbone of your American culture. And I love it. We do a health summit every year. And who do I feature at the health summit if it isn't, 50, 60 small businesses? 50, 60 small businesses that are providing real solutions for health. Like, I'm all about it. I love it. And because it's un-American not to, and I'm totally going to start throwing that word around too. And I hope you will too. When people tell you to, stop, shut that person up, censor them or whatever, you're un-American. Like, I'm just going to tell you now. I'm done. I'm just going to tell you, you are un-American. And yes, that is a huge insult. You don't support small business, you're un-American. You want to censor somebody, you're un-American. Yes, we do have a culture here. Excuse me, we do? We're not adapting yours. No. Period. Okay. So I hope you'll take me up on, join me in that, because I'm like, I'm just going to call it like it is. I'm sorry. That's un-American. So support small business. Of course, it's the livelihood of this country. And I'm excited for the future. I think it will grow. Let's get into some health stories. Okay. So I want to talk about this because this impacts your health, the health of your bank account especially. But you see, I keep seeing these stories about utilities going off the charts here. Check this one out.
If you are in Maryland, what is your BG&E? What is happening? What the heck? How can they even justify this? Like, this is absolutely outrageous. I just got our electric bill, electric only. We don't even have gas here. Our electric bill for 1 month is $1,300. It's unbelievable. I just had somebody in one of the Facebook groups here in the county just post their bill is over $2,000. This is somebody on a fixed income. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. What can we do? Nothing besides pay it, because all they're going to do is cut it off. There is no help. They're going to say, oh, we can set up a payment plan. We can't afford to pay it. The payment plan doesn't change it. We can't afford it. Like, this is unbelievable. People are having to decide between paying their rent or their mortgage, paying their electric bill, and getting groceries. Not that they weren't before, but now imagine getting a $1,200 to $1,500 to $2,000 electric bill only, just electric. And then those who have gas and electric, we don't pay for water because we're on the well. So imagine paying that plus the now Baltimore water bill.
Oh, she's so right there about the water. Right. So listen, alert. OK. Yes. OK. The stuff's going on all over, the Somali fraud's happening. But look at like your neighbor's bill, your fellow citizens' electricity bill is like, what is it, like quadrupling time, or, you know, I don't even know it's times, it's 10x. This is a problem, right? I mean, most people are a paycheck away from, you know, getting really far behind and in trouble financially. That's the truth of the American family, right? So a $1,200, $1,300, a $2,000 electric bill, like alert, this is an emergency. This is an emergency. And why is this happening? Why is this happening? Let me tell you. Number one reason why: rising electricity demand because of data centers and AI. Did we ask for that? Did we ask for that? We didn't ask for it, but we're paying for it. So states with heavy data center growth, particularly those powering artificial intelligence and cloud computing, are seeing huge jumps in demand. That drives up wholesale electricity prices, which eventually get passed on to consumers. It's also about the infrastructure. Getting the infrastructure built to house these data centers is being pushed over to you. Now listen, I don't like this scenario, because where are these data centers popping up if it isn't in rural towns? And it's in rural towns because rural towns don't have the population, so they tend to have a little bit of a surplus of electricity. And so these data centers are being plopped in these rural towns. And what's going to happen to people like us that live in rural towns when our electricity bill goes up to $2,000? We ain't staying there. We can't. So that's like a good way to clear out a small town, isn't it? And force everybody into centralized living. I don't like it. I want to hear some discussion about it. What are we going to do? What are we doing about capping out these prices on electricity, everybody? Let's make some noise here, because we're all about to get a bill that we don't like. So what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? Where's the post about it? Where's the tags about it? Where's the videos about it? What are we doing about this? This is a family here. A family that works every day to go to pay their bills. This is not doable. $2,000 electrical bill is not doable. Okay, so we got to make noise about this. Also, natural gas price is volatile right now. Natural gas still fuels a large portion of U.S. electricity. When gas prices spike regionally, listen, gas is down though, right? Due to global market pressures, exports or seasonal demand, electric bills follow suit. Maybe this is a Venezuela situation. You know, we'll see more cards revealed over the next coming week or so. An aging grid and infrastructure costs. I said that. Extreme weather and climate impacts. I don't believe that one. So anyway, let's keep our eye on this, because this is actually going to impact our friends and neighbors and even ourselves, you know? Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. $2,000 electrical bill would probably put me over the edge there, you know? Okay, what else is going on? Well, we're going to go to break here in a minute. So when we come back, though, I want to talk about just the culture of Somalis, because now a lot of it's being exposed, that there's some, you know, heavy-duty fraud throughout the nation, not just in Minnesota. But there's also we keep saying this, but yet nothing's happening. Like this type of culture is not conducive with the Western world if you're not going to assimilate. When we come back, I'll tell you what I mean and what you need to know. Stay tuned.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Had a question on my text line. Which of the buy one, get one free products would you recommend? And I know the collagen is gone. We don't have the buy one, get one free collagen anymore. But 2 products that I would highly recommend. And actually, in my health topic today, we're going to talk about kids' health. So 2 products I would highly recommend is the minerals. Okay, everybody needs to focus on mineralization because our soils do not have minerals like they used to. So you need to be supplementing with minerals. And that's a fantastic product to have on hand is the minerals. They're buy one, get one free. So when you go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, there's a little tab up there that says January specials. Click on that. That'll take you to the flip book with all of the different products. So that's one of them. And then the other one I would recommend, especially for kids, if you're one that doesn't like taking fish oil, and kids are usually hard to get to take fish oil. We have some wonderful gummies available for fish oil as well. So those are two recommendations I would make there that are great, especially for kids. And again, we're going to talk about kids' health. So stay tuned for our health topic coming up in a few minutes. All right, food production. So you know me, I'm always talking about the decentralization of our food supply and how that really is important. They have been able to centralize our food supply because these megacorps continually buy up all the mom and pops, right? Which is a big problem here in our country, right? With private equity and, the diminishing support for small business, right? I just feel like, government's helping small business. I feel like they're doing everything to kill it. Right? They're doing everything to kill small business. That's what it feels like, over the last 10 years or so, I would say, with regulation and taxes and just all the crap that comes with just running your own business, So anyway, I'm always talking about the decentralization that needs to happen with our food supply. And our food supply is so centralized now. Like we're down to I think it's 9 companies that provide most of the food in your grocery store. So when you think about big production, I want you to think about this. Watch this.
I worked at a major food production facility that supplies the United States and Canada with food. I watched as they brought Somalians in, and they began to urinate and defecate wherever they please within this food production facility plant. We had to put up signs explaining how to use the bathroom correctly, but yet it was never corrected. I seen as grown men wash their genitals within the sinks, made homemade bidets from the garbage in the break rooms, and then brought in a roach infestation to the plant. Once again, I will tell you this is a major food production facility and cannot shut down for anything. I did, however, have it shut down once for a lockdown, due to one of them returning to the food processing facility with a knife. It's a real problem, and it's a major reason why I left.
Yeah, it's not, again, I'm going to reiterate, like, listen, like, people, oh, racist. Like, this has nothing to do with your skin color. I could care less. Nobody cares about your skin color. Okay. It's about culture. And we in America have a culture. I know you were told we don't, but we do. We absolutely do. We do things a certain way around here, and you are so welcome here if you would like to do the things that we do around here. But if you don't want to do the things that we do around here and you want to do something else, it ain't gonna work. Okay? So we don't have, a racism problem. We're not concerned about your skin color. We don't care what religion you practice. Like, we're good with all of that. But listen, when you're out in public and, you're navigating the world, we have a set of standards that we live by here. This is the United States of America, and we have a culture, and this is the way we do things here. If you do not want to do it here, then don't be here. Period. That's the way it goes. It has to go that way, because without a set way of doing things, the whole thing doesn't work. If everybody's speaking different languages, how are we going to communicate? Right? If nobody wants to learn how to drive properly, red light means stop, green light, we're going to have accidents everywhere we go. Like, this is not a free-for-all. Okay? It's not a free-for-all. It can't be. We need cohesion. And it doesn't have, we're not going to dictate where you worship or whatever, like, how you worship. We're not going to dictate that. Let me correct that. We might dictate where you are going to worship, because you can't do it in the street. I mean, these are reasonable requests, I think. If the way you think and the way you maneuver in your life is conducive with the Western world. Now, if the way you think and the way you maneuver is not conducive with the Western world, well, then this is going to be very problematic for you. And that's what we're seeing, right? This is a problem. How do we fix it? The one, I don't know all the solutions here, but I'll say this. Americans must be assertive right now. You've got to be assertive. You can't be afraid of being called a racist. You can't be afraid of exercising your right to claim your culture. Because if you do not, other people certainly will. Okay? So again, not about racism, not about anything like that. Who cares? Don't care about your sexual preferences or any of that stuff. It's not got anything to do with that. It's just about making the country work smoothly and respect, right, for the culture here that we've built. That's it. What else do we have to talk about here before we go to break? I want to get into Bobby Kennedy. I've played this clip before, but I want to bring it back around because, again, this is one of those stories that's getting hidden, and that is about medical journals. Take a listen to this.
We're probably going to stop publishing in the Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, JAMA, and those other journals because they're all corrupt. Mm-hmm. And even the heads of those journals, like Marsh Angle, who for 20 years was the head of the New England Journal of Medicine, says that we no longer are a science journal. We are a vessel for pharmaceutical propaganda.
No kidding.
Because they control the journals. They buy the preprints, right? Which is, and they finance you. If you want to publish in a journal, you have to pay $10,000 to get the study published. And so what we're going to do is change the system and say you can't. Richard Horton was the head of the Lancet. Mm-hmm. who really disgraced himself during COVID with the Lancet letter and all this.
I remember.
But he says the same thing. He says, we are no longer science journals. We are about promoting pharmaceutical products, and that's what we do. So unless these journals change dramatically, we are going to stop NIH scientists from publishing.
See, this, this intermingling of pharmaceutical product makers, right? Like pharmaceutical companies make products, and medical journals are supposed to be they should reflect science. They should reflect scientific findings, right? So this is the problem, that we have this intermingling of products and business with science, and it's not working out. It's not working out because people are people, and greed is real, right? Greed is really a thing. So what we have to do, if we want to fix we have to take the money out of it, essentially. What we have to do is we have to set aside funding for scientists to actually be scientists, right? They get paid to be scientists, meaning they have a hypothesis, right? I would like to test this question. I have a hypothesis. Then let them do the research, and they shouldn't care what the result is of the hypothesis because they don't have anything invested in it. When you have something invested in your hypothesis, man, it's really hard to be true to your hypothesis, right? And really understand that, this isn't going the way I want it to go because I have this product I want to sell. See, we have to separate it. We have to. Technicians make products. Technicians who read science. Hey, we read your science. We read your hypothesis. We found out this. Now we're going to take that information, and we are technicians and innovators, and we are going to make a product with your information. Great. Wonderful. Awesome. Let's do that. But see, we don't have the separation right now. We don't have the separation. The innovation, the technicians that build, that come up with products, they're also the scientists. So that's a real problem. And then to make it even more corrupt, all of the science that's published goes into these journals, that's considered the gold standard of information for like doctors and anybody who researches health. Here's the gold standard, this Lancet journal, right? And also it's funded by pharmaceutical companies. So do you think they're going to publish hypotheses that are nasty about their products? That have an outcome that isn't for their products? No. They sweep those ones under the rug. They get rid of them. Those disappear. So we cannot get to the truth about health until we allow science to fly freely. Who cares about the outcome, right? Let's be interested in the process of discovery, because imagine the studies that we could get funded if we actually operated science in that way. We could really dive into diet, man. We hardly know anything. We could really dive into diet and the impact of our diet. What about studies that correlate our blood type with diet? I want to know more about that. I want to know more. I mean, and there's this huge area of discovery too, What impact can the ocean have on our health? There's so much undiscovered under there. But instead, we just keep getting more crappy products, petrochemicals, pumping them out one after the other. Oh, there's a new diagnosis. Oh, there's a new diagnosis. We got a new pill for that. We got a pill for that. We got a pill for that. Stay tuned.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives. while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. Visit our naturallyinspiredstore.com. Pick yourself a protocol, book yourself an assessment with me, get into the Naturally Inspired community, or take advantage of the buy one, get one free that we still have available. So many wonderful products, over 25 products available right now, 2 for 1 at the naturallyinspiredstore.com. Don't forget, as soon as you make a purchase with Naturally Inspired, you're in the Naturally Inspired community and you get my health text line for free. You get Tuesday night coaching for free, the weekly wellness workshop, and so much more. So it is a no-brainer, really. Everybody, we all need tools for wellness. We all need these tools. So buy them with Naturally Inspired and get in our community. We're waiting for you and we're ready to welcome you in and provide support on your optimum health journey. Okay, let's get to our health topic today because it's a good one. I'm talking about kids. Since I was all up in my feels about my own kids, I wanted to talk about 7 tips for raising healthy kids, okay? Nutrition first, of course, because that's what I think. You know, I'm all about nutrition. It's so important. When we're eating, when we are feeding our bodies, it is information. We are giving we're giving our body information when we eat food. And then it takes the information and processes it and expresses in the form of health or sometimes in the form of dis-ease. So very important to start with nutrition. So build meals around real food, not convenience. And I can already hear the excuses. Well, you know, we're rushing from game to game to game to game. Listen, it may be time, okay? And I'm not trying to guilt anybody here, but I'm just trying to bring awareness. Priorities, right? Do you want a kid that's sick all the time with sniffles and problems? Or do you want a healthy kid? We have to prioritize this stuff. You know, I didn't have my kids in a ton of sports. Both each had one sport. Nowadays, people are sport after sport after sport, and it's in the car all the time, and it's here, it's there, it's blah. And what are you doing that for? Like, ask yourself, what is the wanted outcome of that? Because you don't have to have your child scheduled to the teeth in order to feel like a successful parent. Actually, prioritizing health is being a successful parent, right? So building meals around real food. So quality of meat, right? We were talking about that last week about the McDonald's hamburger that had 1,300 strands of different DNA in it, meaning it was made up of 1,300 different animals. I just don't like that. Where's those animals coming from? What have they eaten? We don't even know. Okay. So think about, quality of meat, fresh whole foods, eggs, dairy, meat. And we've got to start young with these kids, right? Because they only know what they know. And my kids used to eat cauliflower right off their trays, and people used to freak out because they would see chunks of cauliflower, eat them. Yeah, because they're babies. They don't know any different. They're not feeling deprived. They're happy. Blueberries, cauliflower, things of that nature were on their trays, olives, feta cheese, all this weird stuff, right? That people would say, oh my gosh, that's so weird that your baby eats that. Yeah, because they don't know anything else and they're having a grand old time, right? So it's conditioning around health, and it's very valuable, very valuable. Now I have 20-year-olds that they don't eat crap. They don't eat crap because they don't feel good when they eat it. So there's a direct correlation. They understand that healthy food equals feeling good. So start as young as you possibly can. So build meals around real food. Number 2, prioritize minerals even before mega doses of vitamins, because kids burn through minerals fast due to growth, due to play, due to, just being exposed to the environment, especially magnesium. Zinc, iron, iodine. Magnesium, of course, provides calming and muscle support and also helps with sleep. Zinc for immune health, growth, and appetite. Iron, food first with iron. Food first, right? So one of my little tricks, what I do is I actually blend up calf liver. Okay, put it in your Vitamix or your food processor with a little bit of water, get it into like a little sludge. I know it doesn't sound appetizing. And then you put it in ice cube trays and you freeze it. And then every time you make taco meat or hamburger or whatever, you just pop a couple of those out and you mix them in. They never know. They have no idea. So it's a great way to add that into is liver. And also egg yolks are a great source of iron as well. Don't fear healthy fats with your kids, right? Kids need them. So butter, ghee, tallow, full fat dairy, olive oil, avocado oil, omega-3s. And, I'm not big on restricting carbohydrates, whole food carbohydrates with kids. They need it. So your home fries, do your home fries in your oven with tallow or, use olive oil with lots of spices and whatnot. Okay. This is wonderful. Avocado oil is a great thing to cook in as well. And you can even, make fresh chips with them, with your potatoes, thin them, with a mandolin, really, really thin. And then you drop them in either beef tallow is wonderful, or you can use avocado oil. It's a great snack for young kids, right? Because they can go through those carbohydrates like crazy. It's just, I'm not a big believer in restrictive diets for kids at all. But junk food, I am. Restrict the junk food for sure. But whole foods, pretty much anything goes as long as it's clean. So obviously use supplements to fill gaps, right? So vitamin D, omegas are huge, and omegas kids really don't like to take. So I have one in my buy one, get one free book right now. They're gummy and they taste great. So good way to get kids into the habit of taking supplementation is gummies are fantastic for that, right? Easy. Things that taste good, right? Magnesium glycinate. So I have, I love magnesium for kids in a hot drink. So I have one that has, I think it's like 4 or 5 different magnesiums in it, including glycinate, and it's a hot beverage. So at night you can put that in a little tea. I don't know. My kids used to love to make tea in the evenings, herbal tea, and they have the little tiny teapots. Make it fun, right? Healthy living needs to be fun. So we had these little individual teapots. We'd put a little magnesium in there, good for sleep, and a little herbal tea, maybe some hibiscus tea or some cinnamon tea. And it's a little ritual that they build early in life, and it takes them through their life, and they still do it at night. Okay, what else? You got to protect the gut as well. So a healthy gut supports immunity, mood, and nutrient absorption. So for fermented foods like yogurt, if you can get them to eat yogurt, watch the sugar intake in that though, right? Buy your Greek yogurt and flavor it yourself with local honey, right? Put a few walnuts in there, or some dark cherries are wonderful too. Kids love fruit, right? Dark cherries, blueberries, load it up, make it look the thing about kids too is if you make the food look fun and appetizing, they're all over it. And then if you include them in it when you're preparing, or you give them a job to do with meals as well, they're all about it. They're all about it. So it's easy. It's really quite easy to get kids involved in nutrition because they want to be next to you. They want to be helpful. So let them, let them. Also, you want to make sure you regulate blood sugar with protein. So you always, pushing the protein on the kids. So you can make your own chicken fingers. I do that. I've done that for years. You can bread them in things like flaxseed to up the omega count in the food. Always cooking in either tallow or avocado oil or whatnot. Always want to pair, right? You want to pair your fat with a protein, pair things that are complementary as well. So, of course, endless fruits and vegetables with children. Oh, yeah, endless. Never, ever deprivation when it comes to kids. Never deprivation. That is not the way. It is the quality of food that you have available to your kids. They never overeat because when they're eating whole foods, their brains are being calibrated, right? Kids nowadays, they're not dealing with the diet culture that you and I were with a lot of the fat-free. It's different pressures, it's not the same, but we were dealing with fat-free and deprivation and calorie restriction and Weight Watchers and stuff. That's not really a thing anymore. Right? So let's take this opportunity to train their brains to respond properly to ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, and leptin, which is the satiety hormone, and feed them real fat, whole fat dairy, right? They won't overeat if they know they don't have to live in deprivation. What triggered overeating for a lot of us in diet culture was deprivation. And so we never want to do that for kids. Man, I've got some horror stories about that just with like kids' friends, my kids' friends through the years or whatever, with parents like locking up food and stuff, like weird. Do not do that. That's crazy, right? If you can, you want to provide that there's always a choice. There's always a choice here if you're hungry. So you've got to model health. That's the very best thing you can do is model health. It's more powerful than any rule you could ever try to implement because kids copy what they see. If you have been constantly worried about your weight, if you have constantly talked about calories, my mom did, God bless her. She was on a diet like as early as I can remember. And so my sister and I both were focused on weight, always. And that's just the culture we grew up in. She was a result of the diet culture too. I'm not blaming anybody here, but I'm so glad I broke that cycle with my daughter. She's not like that at all. I never talked about my weight in a negative way in front of her. I never did that with her. I was like, hey, this is what we got. We're strong, and we should embrace this and let's build this up. But never from a negative standpoint, right? It's just very damaging. And listen, if you've done that, it's reverse course, have a discussion about it. Listen, this is what I learned. I learned that I was talking a lot of negative stuff about my own weight and about, diet culture. This is how, explain it. And have an open discussion about it and how you're working towards being better. Somebody I knew once told me that the first thing they recognized about people when they met them was their weight. And I thought, oh, really? I notice people's eyes. But that's a direct result of the culture that we have lived in. And so we have an opportunity to reprogram that, right? Change that. And we do it by modeling this behavior and being as open as we possibly can about how we feel about our bodies, especially if we have daughters, but even boys now as well. So take minerals over any hype, fats over fear, food fears first, supplements wisely with goals. Get yourself some minerals and some omega gummies for those kids at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Buy one, get one. See you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.